Have you ever wondered how a tiny startup with just a handful of people can actually go up against an industry giant and win? Well, today we're unpacking a powerful playbook for every entrepreneur out there, and it comes straight from corporate legend Shiv Shivakuman.
I mean, let's be real. It's the classic David versus Goliath story, right? You've got all the passion and the great idea, but your competitor has billions in the bank. So is the fight really over before it's even begun?
But this one quote, man, it just flips the entire script. The battle isn't about size. It's not about money. It's all about speed.
So, we're going to break down this playbook into 5 key chapters. First, we'll bust the myth of size. Then, we'll dissect what makes these giants so slow. After that, we'll talk about your ultimate weapon, how to build the right team, and finally, where to find the next billion-dollar opportunities.
All right, let's dive into Chapter 1, the myth of size. We're going to challenge that nagging fear that whoever has the deepest pockets is automatically going to win.
Look, the common thinking is that a giant can just outspend you into oblivion. But here's the thing, capital does not equal connection. A startup that genuinely creates value and understands its customers will always have an edge over a giant that's just waging a price war.
So if money isn't their real advantage, then what are their fatal flaws? In Chapter 2, we're going to perform an autopsy on the slow giant and learn exactly where to find the cracks in their armor.
Just look at Nokia and BlackBerry. These guys were titans. Nokia made a catastrophic strategic mistake by picking Windows over Android, mostly out of ego. And BlackBerry? They literally had the first version of WhatsApp with PBM, but completely missed what it could become. An execution mistake. Both giants fell, and they fell hard.
So why do these massive mistakes happen? It's because large companies are often crippled by their own internal culture. You've got siloed thinking, where departments don't talk to each other. You have internal power plays. And then there's the big one, a paralyzing fear of failure and reputational risk. All of this just grinds innovation to a halt. And this fear has very real consequences. You would not believe the number of amazing ideas that die in boardrooms every single day. Sometimes it's because of a very, very rational risk analysis. But other times, it's just personal bias. There's a true story of a CEO who killed a fantastic idea because, get this, his wife didn't like the packaging. That right there, that's a massive opportunity for a startup.
Okay, so we've dissected the giant's weaknesses. Now, let's talk about your greatest advantage. Chapter 3 is all about your ultimate weapon, speed.
Just think about the timescale for a second. A huge corporation, totally bogged down by fear and internal politics, can take a full year just to make a single decision.
Now, in that same year, while they are drowning in meetings and analysis paralysis,
A small, nimble startup can launch, test, pivot, and beat them to the market 5 times over. This right here is your unfair advantage. This is the entire game.
But look, speed isn't magic, right? It's fueled by having the right people on your team. So, Chapter 4 is all about building a winning team, and it starts with hiring for the company you want to become.
Here's a really powerful hiring tip. Let's say your company is doing about 10 million in revenue, but your goal is to hit 100 million. The common mistake is to hire people who think at that 10 million level. Shivakumar's advice? Hire leaders who are already operating at a 50 million level. Why? Because they've made that journey before and they know all the shortcuts and all the pitfalls.
Now, hiring great people is only half the battle. You need the right culture to let them fly. The real challenge for a startup isn't raising capital, it's finding good people. You've got to create a culture that actually encourages dissent. You need to plan for founder disagreements ahead of time, and you have to give daily feedback, not just some stuffy yearly review.
all right, our final chapter. You've got your weapon, speed. You have your engine, a great team. Now, where do you point this thing? Let's talk about the next billion-dollar niches.
Shivakumar points to 3 absolutely massive opportunity zones. First up, health and wellness. Think healthy food, fitness, anything that makes you look and feel good. The second and the biggest is time-saving solutions. And third, focusing on untapped demographics, like creating specific, thoughtful products for women and for children.
But here's the crucial strategy. Whatever you do, don't spread yourself thin. Pick one niche and aim for absolute domination. It is so much better for one category to make a giant 10-foot leap than for 6 different categories to just inch forward by 2 feet each. Focus always wins.
And this brings us right back to the central philosophy of this whole playbook. Stop chasing investors. Seriously, start chasing powerful,
focused ideas. Because a truly great idea, aimed at the right niche, well, it becomes a magnet for capital. The money will find you.
So, if you boil it all down, the startup playbook is really just 3 simple equations. Speed is greater than size. People are more valuable than capital. And dominating a single niche is way more effective than having a broad reach. Which leaves us with one final thought. You have the playbook now. You know that your giant competitor is big, but you also know they're slow, they're bureaucratic, and they're terrified of risk. So the only real question left is, what's your first move?